Well, so far this year we've seen 5 tragic fatalities in the fishing community. When you look at that, 25 people this year in Ireland have lost their lives in the workplace. 5 of them are fishermen. That's less than half of 1% of the workforce, represents 20% of the fatalities. That is a tragedy that we just simply can't ignore and shouldn't accept either. And one of the ways in which we can definitely change that is to ensure that we change the mentality of fishermen towards wearing a life jacket. This has worked for the marine leisure side. People that are going out angling and sailing are generally wearing life jackets now. But in the fishing community, the PR campaigns and the new law, which came into place as far back as 2001, which requires people by law to wear a life jacket when they're out fishing, which has totally been ignored, and it's simply not working. And so what we need to try and do is actually change what's inside in the head of a fisherman, rather than trying to pass new laws, introduce new fining systems and new inspectorates. Like, fishermen by and large work alone. They're a bit like farmers in that regard, or else they're working in small numbers, often at night time. But there is no inspections. This is an industry that needs self-regulation, and it needs an attitudinal change towards safety and the wearing of a life jacket. And 50% of fishermen who lose their lives at sea either fall in with a man overboard situation, or else they're in a boat that capsizes. Small potting boats most of the time. And if you have a life jacket in that circumstances, your chances of survival are massively increased. And so what I would say to fishermen is very simple. For God's sake, would you start wearing a life jacket? In the past, life jackets were very uncomfortable. They were inconvenient when you were working on deck. They would get cotton gear and all the rest of it. There's no longer that excuse. Over the last 7 or 8 years, the design, shape, size and weight of life jackets has totally changed. You hardly notice you're even wearing them any longer. There's no excuse for a fisherman to go to sea without a life jacket now. And if you're not going to think about your own safety, at least think about your family and your friends. This is a campaign that we're launching today, which will be ongoing during the summer, primarily talking to fishermen, encouraging them to change the way they perceive safety at sea and the importance of wearing a life jacket. This is a partnership between Irish Water Safety, BIM, the RNLI and fishing organisations like the KFO in the South and West and so on. And it's a partnership for good reason that I hope will result in the number of tragedies next year being far less than this year.